this is Kristina with Rocking It Media. We are on Hot Country 97.9, also on 96.3 The Marshall. And with me today, I have bilingual country artist Frank Ray. How are you, Frank?
Hey, Kristina, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime. I'd love to have you anytime. All right, let's talk about the one thing I want to talk about for sure is you are going to be at the Kansas State Fair on Tuesday, September the 12th, performing with Cooper Allen. Let's talk about that. Are you excited to come to Kansas?
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited to come out and play, especially to share the stage with Cooper Allen, who also I feel brings just as much energy as I do. And all that to say that I think people are in for just a really good time and a big party.
I agree. We got to get this out of the way. You know, tickets are $30, and you can go to kansasstatefair.com. So let's talk about Frank Ray. Now, you have really just been doing full-time music, focusing on that for the last, 3 years?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and what did you do before that?
Before that, I was a police officer in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And that's New Mexico is my home state, and it was just a big part of my life. But after a decade of service, I was like, this isn't my life's passion. It's something that I'm grateful to have done. But music has always been my goal and my dream, and so when I got the opportunity to pursue it full time, then that's what I did, and it worked out.
It worked out. Knock on wood, thank goodness, right?
Thank goodness. Yeah, you never really know, especially as a husband and a father, and you tell them, hey, I got this crazy idea to quit my job, the thing that we all depend on,
right?
So that I can pursue this dream. And so it really just takes, shout out to my wife, who's just incredible and has supported me all the way through, and my whole family and my whole team in general. It's just, I don't know. I think that's part of the larger part why everything worked out, is that we all shared the same vision and we all took that leap of faith together.
Right. So you just jumped in and you did it. And congratulations. I mean, you've already had several hits.
Thanks. Yeah, I feel very fortunate and blessed that country radio has definitely accepted, the music that I've put out there, and they've welcomed me with open arms. And "Country Look Good on You" was my first single to mainstream country radio, and we followed up with Somebody Else's Whiskey, and so that's also out there, and people seem to be reacting to it very well. So I'm excited, where my career is at this stage, and excited to see what else we got, to look forward to.
Right. But you're also giving back. I mean, back to the police officers and fire departments and stuff like that with your FRAY program. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, FRAY is a campaign for mental health and wellness that my team and I started to really just raise awareness about the traumas that these men and women who serve as first responders deal with on a daily basis, and how difficult it is for them to find healthy ways to cope with it or to even talk about it, because we've sort of bred this, we've bred this environment where we, as first responders, have got to be the people that look to for help, right, and solve problems, and have this command presence or assertiveness, and so vulnerability just kind of gets beat out of you in a sense, right? Not literally, but it really does. Or it's not one of those qualities that you want associated with someone who's on the front lines, and so that large in part affects our ability to talk about our mental health and wellness. And so my goal is to normalize the conversation, to raise awareness that it's a real problem, because 85% of first responders are more likely to take their own life than to die in the line of duty. And that is just a statistic that is obscene, and we need to,
it is
obliterate
sad.
that completely.
I mean, that is a really sad statistic right there.
Yeah, nobody talks about it, right? I mean, there's a first responder does something bad, it can make headlines, right? But nobody ever talks about, the trauma that they might be dealing with, and how this might have manifested itself. And so, therefore, I just thought we need to humanize the men and women that wear this uniform, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. This isn't a political issue. This is a human issue, and we need to be taking care of the people that take care of our communities. And so I've made it my life's mission at this point to go out. I'm working diligently with members of Congress to try to raise funds like I said, to put it towards a program so that we can raise awareness. We're providing different resources, website, frayoc.org, where they can go and seek out some help. And we're even building out rooms, we're still sort of in our infancy stages of the whole program, but building out a decompression room where we get massage chairs, track lighting, TVs, stuff like that, where they can just have a room and to go zen out for 15, 30 minutes and get your head right, and then go back out there and take care of business. Does it make sense? So,
yeah.
A lot of really cool things that we're trying to do to help the men and women that take care of our communities.
Well, bless you, Frank, for doing that. I mean, we all take advantage of, not advantage, but we don't think about the stress that the police and fire and your first responders and everybody has. And for you giving back to your old career, per se, bless you for doing that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I honestly, that's what it is. It started out initially as a job, right, when I got into law enforcement. Then you see how huge the community of first responders is, and it became more than just that. It became a family to me. And so that's always something that's going to be near and dear to my heart. And this is just one of many ways that we're going to be able to shine a light on these brave men and women.
That's great. That's great. And again, that is frayoc.org for more information on Frank Ray's program. We're talking to Frank Ray on Rockingham Media, Hot Country 97.9 and 96.3 The Marshall. Now, you just had your debut album last month, but you've had some singles that you put out and different things that you've done, and you've just really been doing this full time for the last 3 years. But were you in the Texas scene, the Texas music scene prior to all this going on, right?
Yeah, that's sort of where I got my start because I'm from New Mexico, and El Paso is right there, and that's sort of where my band is from and my manager is from. And so we really just started kind of funneling out, or spiraling outwards from the regional market that we were working initially. And of course, that made sense for me as well because of my job. So I had to travel somewhere within the, somewhere within our vicinity, and so I can make it back to like court or something. Anyway, but once that got too tumultuous, we decided, all right, now let's hit all of Texas, which everyone knows is a huge state. And then we just kind of branched out. Let's see what's going on in Oklahoma. Let's go a little further down to Louisiana. Let's go down to Alabama. Let's see what's going on. And that's sort of how that whole thing started. But Texas is where I got my start and had some good success on regional radio out there. And it's always going to be a big part of my life and my career. And of course we love going back out there and playing. So people that have followed me from the beginning asked to hear some of the earlier stuff.
Well, I think it is a big family. I talk to a lot of artists that are in the Texas area and in that scene, and they all seem to know each other and all support each other, and it's a music family.
Yeah, it's great. It's really, really awesome, and I love to see now. I feel like there's always been this sort of gap that's existed between Texas and Nashville and this and that, and I think what I'm starting to see, like we see with artists like Aaron Watson or Cody Johnson. You're starting to see these that gap getting bridged a little bit, and that's really cool. We're expanding that family a lot more.
Right, I agree. You see a lot more of that. So, Frank, you grew up in New Mexico. You're down by the Mexico border, and you're bilingual, and you're releasing a Spanish EP. Is that correct?
Yeah. Along with the album that we just released, we. The team and I spoke, and we wanted to get some of these songs that we felt might have a cool translation and translate them to Spanish, so we can see, see how people of the Latin culture respond to country music. There's definitely the consumership with Hispanic people is the largest and the fastest growing in country music, and so obviously there is something that they love about country music there, and I just wanted to put it in a language that might they can not only just groove to the music but also vibe to it from their perspective.
Right. Well, we're excited about that for you, and so excited that your debut album called Frank Ray came out last month. And if you haven't checked it out, listeners, you need to check it out. Now, Frank's going to be at the Kansas State Fair on September 12th. It's a Tuesday evening. Tickets start at $30. You can reach kansasstatefair.com to get those tickets and see Frank. Now, what can people expect from your show? When they go to see Frank Ray, what are they going to see?
It's fun. It's a lot of high energy. We try to keep the pace forward. We try to keep it up tempo. Every now and then I'll throw in a ballad, but for the most part, it's just fun. And I ask for a lot of crowd participation. So I hope the people that are showing up and spending their hard-earned money to come out, go out and have a good time and join in on the party, because it's going to be just that.
What's your favorite part about being on stage?
Here recently, I think because of the success that some of my songs have had on country radio, there's some familiarity there. And so I love to look out in the crowd and see people singing back the words to my song. I mean, that's sort of been, the thing that really kind of gives me chills,
Right.
So
Well, it would have to be.
And do that. Yeah, that's my happy place. I go up there on stage and have a good time, and that's always fun and making people dance and stuff. But when they're actually singing the words to songs that you put out there, it's that's something. There's something special about that. So here recently, I really enjoyed that.
I think that's awesome. And I couldn't imagine people singing my words back to me. So, yeah, that would be cool. So who has? I mean, you've been with some big names. Like, who's been your favorite to play with, to open for, to meet? Give me something there.
Probably the one that sticks out to me the most is Toby Keith. We did like a little 3-day run with him and Matt Stell, and as short as that little run was, it was the most fun. It was some of the most fun I've had on a tour, and we just hit it off with a bunch of his crew. And just to give you an idea of what kind of fun we had, and it was just kind of clowning on each other. The very last day, they pulled a prank on me, and I was in Wichita. As a matter of fact, I was in Wichita, and I was on the runway singing "Country Look Good on You" as my last song of the set, and everyone was kind of laughing, and I'm like, I don't know what they're laughing about. This is supposed to be a fun, sexy, kind of vibey song, you know? What's going on? Well, I turned around, and Toby Keith and his crew had lowered this massive piñata from the rafters. And then his tour manager just ran on stage and handed me an aluminum stick and said, "Well, get after it." So I broke a piñata in Wichita, as a prank, courtesy of Toby Keith, and I just thought it was incredible. It was just a great time, and that's the kind of thing that you want to experience on tour, is just the camaraderie, and we're all there to laugh and have a good time, and it was just that. And then they sent us with a whole bunch of goodies, also to include Taco Bell gift cards. So that was a little on the nose, but I thought it was perfect because we used them. We used every single one of them.
Right.
Yeah, it was chips and salsa and every Mexican stereotype you can think of. I thought it was hilarious. But it was great. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, we're known for that, right? Self-deprecate a lot, and then of course I kind of poke fun at myself. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we just kind of hit it off. And one of my favorite moments on tour.
That's awesome. I love it. So how much time do you spend on the road right now?
Oh, gosh. As a matter of fact, I've been home for a couple of days, and I think that's the longest I've been home all year. So, I mean, the tour, we just got off tour with Old Dominion. That was from January to July. And mind you, our youngest daughter was born on January 14th, and I had to leave the 19th.
How hard.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so, it is a lot. It does take a very strong individual. And again, so you'll hear me talk about my wife a lot, because she's really held down the fort when it comes to this crazy dream and this crazy career. But yeah, I'm on the road all the time. And it's just part of the gig. It's part of the gig. There's really no other way to do it. You have to get out there and play some music.
Well, I say this a lot to artists, but I'm like, it is a hustle game. I mean, you got to hustle.
Yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, and it's not as glamorous as most people think. Right? They think backstage, they think of like the '80s, hair band or something like that, where there's just all kinds of wild, crazy stuff going on backstage. It's not really that.
It's
we're
not
just sitting
really.
down. Yeah, you're just sitting. There's tequila had, of course. Yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, most of the time we're just back there steaming our own clothes and just waiting till the show comes up, and that's the most fun. So we're actually waiting to go out there and play for y'all.
Right.
And then it's as soon as you're done, you pack up and go on to the next place and do it all over again.
Right.
Yeah, and so, but my wife is really good about FaceTime and sending me photos and videos of the kids and stuff. And of course, like I said, I'm here on daddy duty right now. So, but yeah, it's, I honestly don't know that I'd have it any other way. I don't know that I could do anything else other than music. I tried the cop thing for a bit, and I gave it a good 10 years of my life. I don't know that I could do that all over again with something else.
Right. Well, it's definitely two very different careers.
It is. But music is, like I said, it's always been my life's passion. And so if I'm not playing music, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know. I think you should do a little reel, Instagram reel or something where you put on the cop uniform, pull somebody over, and then you sing to them. Country'd look good on you.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
I think it would
Although
be great.
They might. It is a felony impersonating a police officer, so I don't know. I might not be able to get away with it anymore. Unless
you still have friends on the force, right?
Yeah, I got some friends. I will see.
It'd be great
That's
if
a great idea.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun. Now, I guess I don't know.
It's either one or two ways. It's going to be a hit on TikTok, or I'm going to get arrested. Okay?
Right? Which both would make great news.
I'll take the gamble. Yeah. It's all good press.
Right? Ain't nothing but marketing, man. Got to get it out there.
Yeah.
All right.
Love it.
Well, we're
love it.
talking to Frank Ray. He is going to be at the Kansas State Fair on Tuesday, September 12th. Again, tickets is $30. Start at $30. And you can get those at kansasstatefair.com. And you're listening to Rocking In Media right here. I'm Kristina. Now, you're also going to be, I gotta get this little plug in for you, too. You're also going to be at the Midwest Music Fest in Kearney, Nebraska on October 13th. So people who are in our listening area, they can catch you both places.
Yeah, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So,
yeah,
Luke Mills is one of my buddies, and he was like, "Hey man, I can't wait to see you out there." And I was like, "Wow, that's gonna be awesome." He puts on a great show. I love him to death. I think he's great, good people, and so if they're looking for another great show and another great artist, come on out to that one as well.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to play a little game. I want to ask you a couple questions, and you just tell me your answer. If you're up for that, Frank, you're up for that?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
Okay. Hamburgers or hot dogs?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburger.
Okay. How about boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Okay. If you could have any superpower that you ever wanted, what would your superpower be?
I would fly.
You would fly. Why would you fly?
Oh, now that I said it, I start thinking about all the June bugs that I might hit on the way. Fly because driving from A to B is such a pain, and if I could just fly, then I can get from one gig to another. Like, man, imagine how many gigs I could do in a year. It'd be crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm already doing a lot, but I could double that number.
You could really rock it out.
Yeah, I can get done with a show and then fly home, hang out with the kids and the wife, and then fly back. I could probably do that in between songs.
Well, you could do what is that movie, like Jumper? Like where you jump from different places?
Jumper, yep.
I mean, that'd be even better because then you don't even have to have the flight time.
You teleport. That's what it is. Okay, that's it. Changing it. Teleport.
Okay, awesome. Now, what's your favorite type of sandwich?
My favorite type of sandwich is it's a sandwich from Potbelly, the Italian sandwich.
It's an Italian.
I take it all the way with the works, and it's the best sandwich I've ever had in my life.
Perfect. And what has been your favorite place to perform?
As of right now, the one that comes to mind is Red Rocks. If I'm thinking like live.
Oh, Red Rocks is beautiful.
Red Rocks for sure stands out because it's just the way that the crowd is seated. I don't know. It's so daunting, but it takes your breath away just looking at all these people. And I don't know, it's just incredible. It doesn't seem like there's a bad seat in the house.
No, there isn't. I've been to several. And maybe you don't know this because you've never maybe sat in the crowd, but the bathrooms are too far away. They have beer right there, but then you got to walk all the way up the stairs or all the way down the stairs to use the restroom.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to make it. But that's like if we're talking like live concert, like full concert. But of course, obviously the Grand Ole Opry is very hard to beat. So
that is hard to beat.
Two venues, that would be it.
That is hard to beat. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Frank?
I see myself on an international tour. Yeah, I see myself on an international tour. Got a couple of hits under my belt. Got a couple of hardware to go with it. I'm thinking ACM, CMA, New Artist of the Year, things like that. Album of the Year, Entertainer of the Year. I mean, I've got some big goals, big ambitions, and I don't see why I shouldn't. So that's where I see myself.
I love it. I love it. I love that you are a big dreamer. And thank you so much for talking with me, Frank. I truly appreciate it. I'm Kristina, and we just talked to Frank Ray. This is Rocking in Media, Hot Country 97.9 and 96.3 The Marshall. Make sure you catch Frank at the Kansas State Fair on Tuesday, September 12th.